Good morning, everybody. It's Jen again. Y'all will never guess. I'm heading into work this morning, and I do not know where all this traffic's come from. It took me forever to get out on the main road here. I always giggle every time I call it like a main road, because it's a little dinky road, but it's my main road. In case this is your first time tuning in, I'm Jen, and I live in a tiny little town in nowhere, East Tennessee. So reminds me of comments I used to get back in the day, and they're like, I'm from a small town, and they named their town. I'd look it up, and they got like 10,000 residents or 20,000 residents, and I'm just like, honey, I could fit multiples of mine in yours. But anyway, whole nother story, whole nother day. I wanted to talk at y'all this morning about something. I guess it's been on my mind in different facets of my life. It kind of relates to how my health journey has been, and also getting in my gardening together, and even working out and everything. And that is to remember that crap ain't gotta be that complicated. That's been something that has served me well in this. Basically, this morning, I've been watching videos. Sorry, my nose itches. Probably I have cat hair all over me because I need to lint roll this jacket, because usually when I get back from work, I pick up a whole bunch of the feral cats and I love on them, and I get who knows fur and Lord knows what else all over me, and I usually forget to lint roll, but I'll do that when I get to work. I work with some really cool, chill people about stuff like that. We are not uppity where I work. I love the people I work with. But anyway, I was watching all these videos on different type of compost and all this, because I am on a very, very tight budget. I like things for free $99 whenever possible, because that's usually about the level of my budget. My budget is zero. Especially nowadays. That's a whole video for a whole nother day. So I've been looking, I've been getting into composting and things like that. And usually when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'll have things playing in the background of things I'm, like if I have a project I want to get up to this weekend, I start listening to videos, while I'm doing other stuff and all that. This morning it was composting videos and shade plants. But oh my goodness, because I started me a little compost pile. We got all these wood chips and all this other stuff, and I'm just learning what wood chips do to compost, and all this other stuff, all these things that go in it. And if you're growing this type of things, you need this type of compost, and if you're growing that type of things, and just a whole thing, right? And it was getting so complicated, and I just went out and piled a whole bunch of stuff when I started that first one, and got to it, because if it can get so complicated, and they were going into like the chemical compounds, nitrogen, carbon, all this stuff, and I'm like, whoa, buddy. Maybe eventually I would like to know this, but oh my gosh, it just became so complicated, and it was almost starting to overwhelm me, and it made me not even want to do it again. And then I was just thinking, Jennifer, you just go out there and pile a whole bunch of stuff in a pile, okay? You can sit here and try to make it perfect and do all this stuff, but you just throw a bunch of stuff together, it'll rot and make something. So that's pretty much the mentality. It can be so complicated. It's kind of like I've learned, this is just my second year really getting into vegetable gardening and stuff. And Lord have mercy, I grew tomatoes last year. And the amount of complicatedness that one can get into with tomato growing and everything. And it overwhelmed me. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start these seeds, and we're going to put them out there, and we're going to see what happens. And you know what? My big tomatoes didn't do the best, but buddy, my little tomatoes, they gave me gallons and gallons and gallons of tomatoes. So, and I didn't know what the fool I was doing, and I learned a lot along the way, and I got it done instead of sitting there and obsessing about all little details of stuff. And then you kind of make notes about, okay, this went good, this went wrong. Maybe let me look up and see maybe what happened, and just kind of gradually tweak it, pivot, what have you. Because looking at all this stuff, I got so overwhelmed. And then I got to thinking kind of how that relates to when, you know, this latest leg of my health journey, where I've lost almost 140 pounds in the last couple years, the good old-fashioned way. And again, we on a budget. I mean, no gym memberships, no fancy programs, no, honey, you're gonna have to get out of the road. Sorry, I'm trying not to talk to the vehicles, but we were in prime idiot land, but we're not behind them anymore. This is also a test of my patience in the morning, y'all. People driving like they ain't got nowhere to be. Maybe I'm just jealous because they ain't got nowhere they got to be. And I'm supposed to be getting early, to be getting overtime because I need the money, and I get stuck behind all these slowpokes. I guess that just means I need to leave earlier. But anyway, but it really got me, like, I lost it. Nothing complicated, nothing expensive, and just learning about nutrition and other things gradually along the way. And I got to thinking about how that kind of is similar, because I mean, you can get into this gardening stuff, y'all, and I mean, these people, they got so much dang knowledge. I mean, they are like mad scientists with some of this stuff. It is crazy. Sorry, y'all, I had to go really fast to pass this feller who was going real slow, pulled out in front of me, and then he decided to gun it. And there better not be a cop hiding up here, buddy. I will, But anyway, whole nother story, whole nother day. Welcome to my car vlogs, where we get all kinds of fun maneuvers from the fellow locals in the mornings. You pull out in front of me and you ride my butt, honey. You have a very distinctive vehicle. Remember that. I ain't gonna do nothing to you, but I will curse you and your ancestors and your descendants in my mind. That's as far as it gets, because you're probably got way more prowess in any type of altercation than I would have. But anyway, I got to thinking about how this correlates to, or, you know, mirrors my health journey, because Lord have mercy, if any of y'all have tried to do that and you've looked up all these diets, looked up all these fitness plans, looked up all this, Lord, how complicated and contradictory and all that stuff can get. I mean, even just this last leg of my journey, which I hate to call it like that because I've been trying to lose weight my whole life. 37, it's overbeast for like, overbeast. I was trying to say overweight, obese. I like overbeast. That's my new thing. I was overbeast. Oh, Lordy mercy. Good morning. But for my whole life, that's my default. This is the smallest I've ever been. Like, I was just thinking about the other day, the size I'm in now. I ain't been in this size since I was like 3rd, 4th grade. So, there you go. But I had been diagnosed type 2 diabetic and high blood pressure and high bad cholesterol, or whatever, or as my doctor called it, the ABCs of diabetes: A1C, blood pressure, and cholesterol. And trying to look up diets on that, and then at the time I've been able to come off of them. I got put on metformin and lisinopril, and there's certain things you're supposed to eat when you're on those things, and all this, and you start looking up these diets and stuff, which for a lot of that, it ended up being, I guess, more on the low carb spectrum was a lot of it, and then some said it's this and some said it's that, and all this contradictory, just needling little details, and that did not help my brain in the least, because I use all these extra, like, it makes it think this is too complicated, what I'm gonna have to devote so much time to even figuring this out, and this source is saying eat this, and that source is saying eat this, and this source is saying, well, you can eat this, but only if you eat this and take this vitamin with this, and then you can do this. The same with like working out. You should be doing this thing, you should be doing that thing, you should be doing this much of this thing. Well, don't do that. Walking's good for you. Well, you can't just walk. Lift weights. Well, don't lift weights. I mean, Lord have mercy. If y'all have ever got into that, you know what I mean. Like, and so I just kept it simple, and I added knowledge along the way. And as far as the contradictory part of it went, I just felt like if I was eating something and it made me feel good when I ate it, and I was eating other things, and I don't mean feel good in the sense of that like dopamine hit you would get when you ate really bad processed crap. Okay, that's not what I mean. I mean when you actually feel yourself kind of healing from within from certain foods, like, and the more you do it, wow, this is really helping with my inflammation. Wow, this is really helping with this. Wow, wow. This and that and the other one. And you can, and that's kind of how I've gauged it with this, especially when people are talking about, Lord have mercy, it seems like the two most controversial ones on both ends of the spectrum are carbs and meat. I mean, we can make it complicated all day long, but at the end of the day, what you gonna do? I don't need to know all the science and all that of it. I just need to get my life together. And so sometimes you just have to simplify it as much as you can and jump in and get to it, and then kind of make notes and pivot and do all that, because it's, as I've said before, it's about the longevity of it, the lifelong stuff of it. And that's kind of how I'm viewing my garden as well. I know where I would like to be at eventually with it nowadays, or in the future. I'm not going to, Lord have mercy, good morning. I've been having one of those mornings, y'all. I'm already fried and I ain't even in yet. This does not bode well for today. Today's my busiest day of the week, work-wise. But it's just like, if I let all these, I got to do this right, and I got to put this mix of this, and I can only put these in places that get this many hours of sunshine, and I got to have all these fancy pH soil testers, and I got to send my soil off to the state, and I got to do all this, and I need to get out here and precisely measure this bed so that I have an exact circumference and all this. Honey, I will just grab my shovel like I did the other day, and I will just start digging. And if it is crooked as a dog's hind leg, by the time I'm done, guess what? I can get that shovel back out and straighten it out. But most of the digging and stuff's done. I'm going to put these seeds out, and we're going to see what happens. If nothing happens, we'll revisit, but at least I got them out there. I'm not doing it for a business or nothing. It's just, I don't know. It's the same as like, okay, I'm going to start eating better. Okay, let me try to add some vegetables to each of my meals, or let me try to eat some fruit, or let me try to, I really like this one fast food meal. Let me see if I can find a recipe that's simple and doable for me to do that might tick those same boxes, that this fast food meal I really like is hitting, and that's going to help my budget and everything. We're going to start there. We're going to start with this one thing. And then we'll see what we learn from there, and you'll just be surprised at how much you learn and how not complicated it is. And you learn to listen to your instincts about things, and that you don't got to spend a whole gob of money. And I apologize for the turn signal, y'all. That's just part of it. Well, let me put y'all on pause for a minute. I doubt y'all want to listen to all that, but I hope y'all get what I mean. Don't let all them little complicated details and stuff get at you. Like, just start somewhere. It don't have to be fancy. Sorry, my coworker pulled in about the same time I did. But it don't have to be fancy. You don't have to dig into all the little details, chemicals, this, that, and the other. Just start somewhere and then kind of see where you end up with it. But I got to get to it, y'all. I'm much later than I thought I would be. Curse of the slow pokes again. I'm just going to have to, how early I think I need to leave in the morning. I just need to leave 15 minutes earlier than that. I'm going to get to it, y'all, and I will see y'all soon with something else. Bye, y'all.